This is Lizzie from Let Zoe Spoil You.
And Sagira from Sagira Salutes You. And together, we are Newbie versus Weeaboo. Sagira, Newbie.
Lizzie, a weeaboo.
It's Newbie versus Weeaboo. Ahoy, hoy.
Heidi, hi.
Hello. We're back again.
Woo.
I feel like that's the catchphrase. Back again.
Back again from our
Back
time
again.
away. It's been so long.
It has been long. I mean, obviously these are coming out on time because I'm doing so great with the editing. But yeah, we haven't spoken to each other for like a week.
I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Last time I talked to you was like a Monday.
Yeah,
and it's now
busy.
a Sunday. Ooh.
Indeed. All busyness this week, especially with the schools being announced going back. So yeah, it's all been busy. Trying to sort out life.
Yeah. Not into life. I'm going to stick to my escapist media, thank you.
I like the whimsy.
Yeah.
But we are carrying on our adventure of, here we go, Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
You can say it a bit faster.
Oh, it's Madoka, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not Madoka. Madoka. Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
I wonder how long it's going to take for me to get it this time. But we are up to episode 5. We're going along swimmingly. And this one is called There's No Way I'll Ever Regret It. No one says that and then not regret it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say famous last words there.
But who was that? Sayaka said that. As we said in one of our other podcasts, these are pretty much titles of things that people say within the anime. So I think that's Sayaka said that.
I'm going to assume so, since she's our latest magical girl.
So let's just jump straight into it. So we start with a flashback from the last episode where Kyubey is granting Sayaka's wish. So we didn't see this in the last episode, but like I said, we didn't get to see it, but we saw that she was a magical girl. So it's kind of showing us the part that we missed. And it would seem that they are up on the roof of the hospital. And this whole sequence, it was so pretty. Like the imagery of it, like there was a bit where it was like ripples and they were rainbow ripples and things like that. Oh, it was drawn so amazingly. This whole thing, I think, I love the aesthetic of it, the way it looks, even though it can be grim at times. It's like everything is just so bright and happy and colourful, and I'm really enjoying it visually. But yeah, so Kyubey is asking Sayaka what she wants, and she doesn't say what the wish is. Instead, Kyubey uses his weird long eerie things to go inside Sayaka and, I don't know, listen to her heart, I guess. I mean, there's later on it also describes what he's doing, but for now we just assume that it's, I don't know, like I say, listening to her heart to hear what the wish is. That's what I was getting from it. And then she receives her soul stone, and Kyubey says, "This is your destiny." And then intro. Yeah. And I'm starting to the intro music is starting to grow on me now. Yeah. I'm starting to enjoy it when I listen to it.
I like the intro music. But then I really like the ending music, but then I like that style. A bit creepy. You're like, ooh, it's dark, ooh.
I don't get to hear much of it because it starts to go on to the next episode as the end credits kick in, so I don't really get to hear it. So the whole thing starts with in school, and we get to see Hitomi, who we haven't heard from since the whole nightmare that she just went through, but she doesn't recount any of it. But what she does recount is what happened afterwards, and that is that she had to go to the hospital.
Yes.
And if we remember, as a recap, a bunch of people became kind of hypnotized, and they were all going off to basically kill themselves.
Yes,
with some
a mass suicide chemical, and they're all like, "Woo, we're going to a better place. It's going to be lovely."
But they don't get to do that because Madoka saves them all. And Hitomi, like I say, she's saying like, "Oh, I had to go to the hospital, and what the police reckon was it was a mass hallucination." Great, yep. Or as most people say, "Oh, God did it." No,
yeah,
can't explain it.
Gas leak.
Oh, God did it.
It's a gas leak.
Yep. And Sayaka is really happy today. She's like really excited about everything, and mostly because she's become a magical girl, so she's feeling great about life, and because she saved them all as well. She killed, was it a witch? It wasn't a witch, was it?
Well, she says she killed a witch, but it felt more like a familiar to me because it didn't seem as powerful or big. But
no,
and I don't think she got a grief seed. So,
well, you say that.
Oh no! At the end, you see. Oh yes, so it was a witch.
Nah, they all look the same to me. Madoka isn't happy because obviously her friend has made this wish and she's become a magical girl, and Madoka couldn't help, and she's now looks like she's regretting what she decided, or she feels guilty about what she decided because she couldn't help in any way. But we go outside, and Madoka and Sayaka are talking about her being a magical girl, and Sayaka says, "I don't regret it. I feel great." And she wished that she'd done it sooner because then maybe she could have helped Mami. But you can't predict these things. Like, you can't. They didn't know Mami was going to die. They thought they had plenty of time. As far as they can say, magical girls go out, kill a witch, and everything's great.
Yeah. Basically, they think they're in a normal magical girl like anime. Like, I mean, we didn't realise Mami was going to die the first time we saw it. It was just like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't happen in magical girl anime. It's meant to be magic.
Well, it's dark magic, that's for sure. But Madoka starts rethinking everything, and Sayaka tries to make her feel better about her choice, but she doesn't make it sound great because she says, like, well, some girls weren't born to be magical girls, as if she's better than her, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know you're happy and etc., but be a bit more sensitive to your friend.
Yeah, she's having a little bit of an ego trip at the moment because she's just newly magicked, and so she thinks she's got all the power in the world now, and then she's helped the boy she loves, and it's all going to be great. And it's like, oh, girl.
Well, exactly, but also Kyubey didn't come to her. He came to Madoka. So it's like, you just got roped into this. So obviously it's Madoka who's built to be the magical girl, not you. It's just that she's having a hard time getting her head round it, you know?
Yeah.
And you kind of did it because you wanted to, like you say, help the boy you love. In the hospital, Sayaka talks to Kyosuke and how he has to stay in hospital because even though his hand is now magically is not a word,
no.
Magically.
Miraculously.
It's probably what magically and miraculously make miraculously.
Oh, I'm going to go miraculously. That sounds cool.
Miraculously, his hand is back to normal, but his legs are still trying to get there, so that's why he's still in the hospital. And he asks for Sayaka's forgiveness because he was a bit of an arse to her, which you can't really blame him in the situation he's in.
Yeah.
Like, you blame the world before you blame yourself. So she decides to take him out for a walk, and they pop up onto the roof where all his family are waiting for him. And his dad gives him his violin to be like, "Hey, you're back. Play." Like, no time to think about it. Just play the damn violin.
But I think, Kyosuke's pretty happy to be like, yeah, I've got it back. But yeah, it's a little bit like, oh, well done for healing. Now you can be a prodigy again.
Yeah, now you can make us some money. And he's happy, but he doesn't play happy. He's playing a really sad song, and it's like, oh, you could like express yourself through your music. Okay, fine.
No.
That's what you want to play, whatever. But Sayaka silently talks to Mami, saying how happy she is, and this is the happiest she's ever been, and she's glad that she did it. We then go to like an observation type building because it's got all the binoculars or telescopes all around it. And Kyoko is there, and she's spying on Sayaka because she wants to find out who this new magical girl is that has this area. And she bought her own telescope or binoculars because these ones aren't powerful enough. I want my magic ones. And to be fair, they look cool. But, what else? Kyubey is there, and he's letting her know that she's got a fight on her hands because there's not just Sayaka, there's also Hamura. Oh, when Kyoka starts to ask about her, Kyubey doesn't really know Hamura.
No. And
Kyoka's like, well, didn't you make a contract? And he was like, kind of, but not really. And he says that she's an irregularity. We still don't know anything about Hamura because Kyubey can't tell us anything.
I mean, he's not very forthcoming with much information. He keeps telling things after the fact, which he does a grand job of like, oh, by the way, I should have... So this is the things you should have said in the first place, you weird little smiling cute demon.
This is why you read the contract before you sign it.
Yeah.
All they're doing is going, hey, sign the contract by making a wish. No. Show me the contract so I can see what I'm wishing for.
But, but they're naive little girls that think they're becoming magical girls in, like, Sailor Moon style and Tokyo Mew Mew style. They don't really...
Such a manipulator.
Yeah.
Such a manipulator. We're now at the mall, and Madoka has asked Hamura to have a talk and discuss Sayaka. Madoka bigs up her friends, like, hey, she's a great person, she's lovely, you should be friends, because basically she wants Hamura to protect Sayaka. She's like, hey, you should be friends, and then you can fight together.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. But Humura doesn't agree. She's like, no, I work for me and I can't promise anything. She thinks that girls who are kind and nice are naive and careless. No matter how hard they try, they will never get the thanks that they are looking for. Well, partly because, other than each magic girl, no one knows what they are. So they're not going to get the thanks. They're not allowed to say, hey, I saved you. They're not allowed to do that. So they're never going to get that thanks. So,
yeah. She's basically kind of like slightly meta in the idea that, like, if this was running like a normal magical girl show, then like your heroes and your magical girls get lots of praise from each other and the people they save and the environment and from the audience and stuff. But in this one, if you're doing it to be a hero, it's no one's looking at you like a hero. So she's like, and they're just being naive and they're making wishes and entering contracts because they believe in the goodness and the magical things that you'd get in a magical girl anime rather than this is situating itself as a realistic. Well, actually, there's a lot more to consider. And if you just go in with a naive wish and think it's all going to be happy and heroic, then you really are underestimating how the real world works.
While Homura is talking, the thing that she wears her ring on, the nail has like a purple diamond on it. Now, does that mean something, or is it just a pretty thing on her nail?
That I can't remember. Because at some point, someone has a C on their fingernail.
That's what I mean. So does the fingernail thing mean something, or is it just something that's like, I don't know, an aesthetics for that character?
If it does, then I don't remember. So when we find out, I'll be finding out along with you.
It's just the fact that they zoomed in on that.
Yeah, so
and it's not like they just zoomed in on the ring. They zoomed in on her finger with the ring and the fingernail.
Yeah. And
no other fingernail has that. It's just that one. And it happened to be the fingernail that the ring was on. So it's like importance.
I'm going to assume it's important. Otherwise, you wouldn't really do that kind of close-up.
So Humura just keeps telling Madoka the truth. And she says that you can't accept the true job of a magical girl, then you will lose your life like Mami did. This makes Madoka upset, and in her cute little way, she yells but doesn't yell, and she's like, "I'm mad, but I don't want to be mean, so I'll just have a little tantrum on my own." She doesn't want Sayaka to be alone like Mami was, and she asks Homura to help, but Homura says that she can't make any promises, and she tells Madoka to just forget about Sayaka. She's like, "Look, she's a lost cause. Just don't worry about her, and then, if something happens, then it's fine because you don't know her anymore," basically is what she's saying.
It's like, it's not that easy to just be like, yeah, one of my best friends, I'm going to pretend like she doesn't exist anymore.
She never existed. Yeah. She's saying that it's partly her fault, Homura's fault, that she made that contract because she didn't stop her from doing it. Like, she told Madoka that she shouldn't do it and, gave her little warnings, but she didn't say anything to Sayaka. So she's like, well, it's my fault. I didn't try hard enough. But now that it's done, it can't be undone. And as a magical girl, you have no hope of salvation. So that was the subtitle. So you have no hope of salvation. However, in the dub, it says there's no turning back. So it's not as defining as it is in the subtitles. And I have to say, I might say things that you say that's not what you remember, because I was, like I say, I have the subtitles up with the dub, and it's very different now. A lot of it is so different. Yeah, the way that they word things, like, later on, we're going to talk about it, but the conversation that Madoka has with her mother, that's a very different, the way it's worded is very different. So. Oh,
really? Yeah, because, it makes sense for Homura to going, you have no salvation, because I know what's going to happen later. Yeah. And that fits with things that are going to happen later. And also, it's not like Homura wanted Mami to die. She did try and stop her, but Homura's just not very good at approaching people. She's not a very people person. But in her own way, she did try and offer, don't go after that witch, it's different. But Mami was the one that, obviously wrapped her in binding and prevented her from saving her. So it's not really, Homura's fault. And Homura is very focused on Madoka because of what she knows, and kind of feels guilty and kind of accepts the fact that maybe she should have paid more attention to Sayaka, but she didn't think Sayaka would turn into a magical girl because she didn't know about her. So her own inability to get close to people meant that she didn't have all the facts, and therefore, if she'd known about, the boy and stuff, then maybe she would have been like, oh, yes, you shouldn't become a magical girl just to save him.
But also, we know that there's something about Madoka. We know that there's something special about it because they don't stop talking about it. And also the way that Kyubey keeps going on to Madoka, just sign the contract, do it. We know there's something that Homura is trying to stop Kyubey from doing.
And the fact of the thing is the series is called Madoka, And yet we're, 5 episodes in and she's not a magical girl yet.
Exactly. Like there's lots of things in the title sequence that you're seeing, like the fact that Madoka is the main title and it's a magical girl series and she's wearing the magical girl outfit. And like you say, she's not a magical girl. So it's like, right, well, when's that going to come into it? Also, Mami features quite a bit in the title. So it's like, so is Mami coming back? Why would you have this character who dies so early on be such a poignant thing in the title sequence if she dies so quickly, unless that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to trick you into thinking, look, these 3 friends are magical girls and they're going to get on, everything's great. It's very, this whole thing, including the characters, it's very deceptive.
Yes,
it's very much, this is one thing, but underneath there's this other thing. So yeah, I'm very suspicious of the entire thing.
Yeah.
I can't stop going, is that what you mean, or is that you mean something totally different? In the next scene, we're in Sayaka's place and she's with Kyubey and they're hanging out and she's starting to psych herself up. She's like slapping herself in the face because she's going out for the first time as a magical girl. And outside, Madoka is waiting for her just to make sure that she's okay. And she offers to keep her company because Honora's not going to be there. So she's like, I'll come with you. I mean, not that she can do anything, but she offers to go with her. And Sayaka agrees. She tells Madoka how scared she is, but she feels better now that Madoka is there. So it's kind of same thing as Mami, because like Mami said, she was very confident in person, but underneath she was scared and she was upset all the time and all she wanted was someone with her. So Madoka is now keeping that in her mind for Sayaka, thinking you obviously will need the same thing because they're kind of the same type of person. They want to help people and they don't like being on their own. Kyubey silently manipulates Madoka, saying if something was to happen to Sayaka, she's there as like a trump card. It's like, well, if she's in trouble, you can always make the contract still. So Kyubey's still pushing it. It's like, do not trust you, Kyubey. You're pushing too hard. That's the thing. If he's just kind of like to let it go and let her come to it on her own, and fine. But he's just pushing it a bit too hard for my liking. They find the labyrinth, and Sayaka thinks that it's a familiar rather than a witch. So she's starting to like sense that kind of stuff. And in the labyrinth, they are surrounded by crayons and children's building blocks and things. Now, we said in the last one that the labyrinth kind of associates itself with the episode that we're watching. So how is this related to it? Is it just that it's childish? Or...
I think so. I think I always took it as it symbolises Sayaka's naivety. So it's very it's very childish and it's very crayon-y and it's like not really seeing the realistic picture. It's still seeing it as kind of, I'm being a magical girl and this is fun and cute and innocent.
And then we see the familiar who is, it's like a little girl and she's drawn from crayon and she's on a plane or a car or something that just keeps changing into different things, but she's in transport and she's flying over them. Then we get magical girl transformation.
Yay!
Sayaka uses her swords because she's a sword girl and she tries to stop the familiar. However, a spear gets in the way and Kyoko appears and she lets the familiar escape. And she's eating again. She's always eating, this girl. Who's that character, is she?
Yeah,
the one that's always eating. It's like, life's too easy, so I'll eat while I do it. It kind of feels like that.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's how it's meant to be. It's like, it's like I'm cocky and energetic and I can eat snacks while I do things because I'm just so good. I'm not going to choke, basically.
I'm not going to choke.
Well, it's like how not going to choke has 2 meanings. They're like, not going to actually choke.
See.
And also,
Got it. Symbolism. She tells Sayaka that a familiar needs to eat 4 to 5 people before it becomes a witch. And without the grief seed, there's no point in killing it. So now we're starting to get more insight into what a magical girl actually does, which is not kill familiars, and they're not really bothered about humans because they want the witch, not the familiar. Okay. So from Kyoko explaining the food chain, as she called it, of familiars eat people and they turn into witches, then we eat the witches and then we become more powerful. Yeah, you get the feeling that with this explanation, you kind of get the feeling that the magical girls aren't really good guys. They're not there to save humanity. They are there to save themselves in a way.
Yeah.
So it's all very selfish rather than we're here for good. It's like, we're here for me.
Yeah, it's exactly the exact opposite of what magical girls have been up until this time. Magical girls have always been like about being selfless. It's always been about being selfless, being for humanity, saving people, fighting evil by Moonlight. Wait a minute, that's the opening for Sailor Moon. But that whole kind of thing, like, and trying to prevent the evil from affecting people's lives and stuff. But now we're seeing it's like they're called magical girls because that's a nice term for it all. But actually, they're people that want power, and they'll do whatever's necessary to become more powerful to serve themselves and their own like wants and desires.
But once again, they don't know this going into it because Kyubey does not tell them any of this. All they say is, well, Kyubey hasn't really said anything. They got most of their information from Mami.
Yeah.
But as far as Kyubey said was, you can become a magical girl and fight witches.
Yes.
That was pretty much what Kyubey explained it as. Didn't say why you're fighting witches, how you're fighting witches, or any of that kind of stuff. But like you say, it's always after the fact, and then it needs to be explained, then Kyubey will explain it. I mean, if they had just gone into it and gone, yeah, we'll be magical girls, they would have had learnt all this as being magical girls, and it's all too late. So the fact that Madoka hasn't done it yet, right, it actually shows, though she's ditzy and childish, she's actually the most clever out of all of them because she's the one who's actually thinking about everything that's happening. But then Kyoko says that she can't believe that they believe the whole justice thing. She calls it a load of crap, and then she looks at Kyubey as if to say, like, you're manipulating these girls, you're telling them something different. And I then ask the question, what is the point of magical girls? If they're not there to help people and they're only there to help themselves, then why do they even exist? So that's now the question of the series.
Yeah.
Why magical girls? Why is Kyubey so hell-bent on having these girls around to fight these witches? Because it has to be for him, because otherwise why would he be doing it? Or he's working for someone else that we've not met yet. Sayaka wants to fight Kyoko, but she's too strong. Sayaka is knocked down. And she's like, okay, that's done, bye. She goes to walk off. But Kyoko is surprised because Sayaka gets up again. She's like, that should have sent you to hospital. What are you doing? And now Kyubey explains more to us and says that because Sayaka wished for someone to be healed, she now has the power to heal herself quicker than it would take. So then you ask the question, wow, okay, so what are the powers of the other girls? Because that could help us figure out what they wished for, or along the lines of what they wished for. And then it makes me think, Mami wished to not die, I'm guessing, or to survive or whatever.
Yeah.
So does she have the power to survive or something? Like, if it relates to the wish, their power, does something happen with Mami in that way? Like, I don't know. Again, we won't find out. I mean, she's dead, so...
Yeah. She's pretty dead.
Yeah, so probably not. But at the same time, it's like, then how did her wish relate to her power?
Yeah.
Because we never found out what her power was. Kyoko and Sayaka, they have their fights, and neither one will give up. And Kyoko is like, right, you know what? I'm just going to kill you. I'm just going to beat you, but now I'm going to kill you. So it's a fight to the death now. And Sayaka's survival instinct kicks in, and she fights back now, because before she was just defending. Now she's like, nope, I'm going to kill you back. Clang, 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 clang.
Things go real.
Things get real.
It's slightly scary. Poor Madoka going, wait a minute. This is not right.
And it's funny because Kyoko, she put up all these chains so that Madoka couldn't get involved, but it's like, she can't do anything anyway, so I don't know why you're stopping her, because all she's going to do is stand there with her hands on her chest going, oh no, Kyubey, help, oh no. So chains were just pointless. But Madoka wants to stop the fight, and Kyubey says, I can't help, but if you sign the contract, you can help. Only a magical girl can help. So she panics and she starts to make a wish. And Kyubey's like, you don't need to say out loud sort of thing. But before she says anything, Homura gets in the way. So Homura I don't know if she's still spying, but I assume that she is, because she's following them around a lot. Yeah. So I'm assuming that she heard that this was going to happen, and she's jumped into, not stop the fight, but stop Madoka from making the contract, because that's more her. She doesn't care who dies.
No.
She's like, I just want this girl not to be a magical girl. Yeah, so she jumps in and stops the fight, and that's the end. No conclusion, and then they all were happy again. No, nothing, just Homura jumps in the middle, and then credits.
Yes. She floats down, does her hair thing, looks pretty.
Yeah.
Credits.
That's it. It's like they're very abrupt endings.
Yeah.
It's not really a kind of conclusion to the episode. It's just kind of next time.
Yeah. It's
So
quite.
lots of cliffhangers.
It's cliffhangers, but it's also kind of like slightly like this the shock and jarring feel. It's so not a magical girl anime ending, because normally the story would have been wrapped up, they would have gone for cake, they would have gone for tea, they would all be friends smiling and in pastels and a still shot of them like we solved whatever problem was going on. And this is just like, oh no, they didn't solve things and there is no friendships and like what, no, this is just like, and yeah, people, this is real. And it's just like so different.
Real girls with real problems. I mean, it is more realistic, I feel, like the way that it's not, everyone isn't happy pally, oh, let's all eat cake. There's issues that need to be sorted and we're going to do it the way that a magical girl would do it.
Yeah.
By killing. You're in my way, I kill you.
It's just so different. And I mean, I still like traditional magical girl stuff, because Cardcaptor Sakura will still be the greatest magical girl ever, and anyone out there can fight me over that one, but she is the greatest magical girl ever. And there is something to say about that genre, about how it's meant to be escapist and niceness and showing the power of friendship. But this one, like, when I went into it thinking magical girls, and then by now I was like, no magical girls. This is tragic and dark. I kind of love it.
They're not magical girls, but tragical girls.
There we go, tragical girls. I'm like, whoa, I like this new genre. Same like when Ava went, this is like Mecha, but not. This is New Wave, woo, New Wave Mecha. This is like magical girls, but not, but I like it. New Wave magical girls.
I am enjoying it. I do like the fact that it's not happy, everyone gets on, because it's, you know, it is surprise every episode. Something happens, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And that's the kind of thing that keeps you hooked. So I am kind of enjoying it. But at the same time, it would be nice to have some uplifting bits now and again. After watching Evangelion, it's like, can we just have something where there's a cat that does cute things going mew, mew, mew? Not this demon cat that stares into your soul.
Yeah, I'm not really the abundance of happy, like, even like, I think the next couple of animes I've got lined up, I was like,
oh dear.
Oh, how will I find something that maybe doesn't depress you or destroy your soul? I'm just a really happy person.
We should do just one episode, maybe like a 3-minute thing of just something that's happy, and that's it. And then we can move on to the next one. Just one episode of like hams or something. Just one episode. Anyway, we move on because we're not done yet. We're on to episode 6. And this is called This Just Can't Be Right. Well, you know what? None of this can be right at the moment because this is not Magical Girls. And this one opens with a recap of the fight. So we just get the end of what we last saw. And Kyoto is meeting Homura for the first time. They've not met before. And Sayaka passes out. I mean, this is the most work she's ever done, probably. So she's exhausted and collapses. Kyoka asks whose side Homura is on. And she said that she's on the side of those who think rationally and an enemy of those who engage in needless conflict. She knows Kyoko because she says her name. So, stalker.
Yeah.
Kyoko parkours her way out. She's like, out of the building. And Homura warns Madoka again, you need to not do this, because if you don't, I'm going to have to take drastic measures to stop you, all right? So she's given her a last warning. And Kyubey knows that she's planning something. She's like, why does she not want you to be a magical girl so badly, sort of thing? And it's like, you two, this poor girl,
yeah,
all she wants is love and friendship, and you two are playing her against you. So bad kitty and bad mystery girl. Stop it. Leave the poor girl alone. Then we get the intro. Sayaka has a grief seed. And so did she get this from a different witch, or did she get this from this one? Because the thing got away. So where did she get this thing from?
I'm assuming it's the one from the one she beat with the mass hallucination, because we saw that depending on how strong it is, you can use it more than once.
Yes, okay, that makes sense. So she hadn't used it up until this point, so she was hanging on to it. Obviously, Kyubey was giving her a lesson in how to use the grief seed. So she uses it on her soul stone. Now, Kyubey says that she has to be careful because if it takes too much magic, it can hatch. So it will be another witch. So Kyubey takes it and eats it. Now, that's full of bad things. And Kyubey ate it.
Yeah.
This means that Kyubey is full of bad things.
But it's full of things that has not in human society anymore. I mean, lots of magical mascots seem to eat the evils out of the world and then they just disappear off. It's kind of a bit of a trope.
Yes, but Kyubey is not a trope.
No,
Kyubey is obviously evil.
Yeah, there is something a little bit more to Kyubey than the average anime mascot. Because obviously, like, I go back to things like, not Cardcaptor Sakura, Cardcaptor Sakura, but Clamp in general have Makona. Oh, Magical Knight Rayef, there we go, that's the Clamp one. Which is like the magical interdimensional bunny thing. And eats evil, sucks out evil and stuff, and it's like it just goes into another dimension. So when you first get introduced to something like Kyubey, we just accept it. The first time I watched it anyway, it's like, yeah, that's what your magical animal friends do. They eat evil things, and it goes into whatever other dimension that exists inside magical things' tummies.
But had Kyubey not acted so suspiciously in the first few episodes,
yeah.
I'd assume that too. But he's pushing Madoka to become this magical girl. He is making magical girls, and they, like I say, there's no reason for them at this point if they're just fighting each other and witches rather than saving people. So he obviously wants those grief seeds. So, yeah, I'm watching you, Kyubey.
Yeah. Your detective skills are on point.
Good. It doesn't help that he is really creepy. Okay, as cute as he is, when he talks and being dramatic and still smiling, he's not to be trusted.
And I'm pretty sure, was it this episode? One of them just had like the creepiest shot of his side of his face or something, and I was just like, "That's a creepy angle, Kyubey. Why are they filming you from that thing?" And you're just like, "Yeah, no, unnatural angle. Don't like it."
Exactly. So he's dug his own grave. I'm sorry, but he's made himself very suspicious. He could have been the cute little thing who's gone, be a magical girl. I'll leave it to you. No. He's done it himself. He's made his bed. He's evil. His evil bed. He tells her that they need another grief seed quickly before her soul stone needs to be purified again. And it's like, wait a minute, she's just done it. Why does she need to do it so quickly again? See, he wants those grief seeds. He needs those grief seeds. Sayaka questions why, and Kyubey says that Kyoko is so strong because of her soul stone is so pure. If she wants to be just as powerful, she needs to keep making her soul stone pure, because that's where the magic comes from. Sayaka doesn't like that people have to die to get these grief seeds, but Kyubey says that the more magic she uses, the cloudier the soul gem becomes. So if she wants to defeat Kyoko, then it's what she has to do. She has to get these grief seeds.
Yeah, so you can't just go around killing all the familiars before they turn into witches, otherwise you use up your power and then get Dirty Soul Gem.
Dirty Soul Gem. Sayaka asks why Mami was so powerful if she didn't use tons of grief seeds, because we saw like she was happy to share it with Homura. She wasn't being selfish with it, so why is she so great? And Kyubey drops a truth bomb and says, yeah, she was way more talented than you are.
Yeah.
All right, Kyubey. We get it. Evil.
Yeah.
Kyubey now tries to manipulate Sayaka by saying that Madoka could beat Kyoko and she should convince her to make a contract with him. So he's like, hey, you know what? Madoka, she'd be great. Why don't you go talk to her? Go on, go get her. Again, little bastard. And Sayaka says no. And this is her fight. She's like, no, I'm not bringing my friend into this. It's not fair. And, that's a good friend. Good Sayaka. We're at an arcade now, and Kyoko is on a dance machine, and it looks really cool. It's like this huge, great big machine that you would probably see in Japan, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Like, they're massive. The ones here are like rubbish in comparison to what they have over there. It's like a whole like culture over there, isn't it? The dance machines, and it's like a sport. It's amazing.
And the fact that they've still got functioning popular arcades compared to here, where the arcade died, and then we all went, oh. And
she's still eating. I just thought I'd mention that. And Homura comes to visit her. And she says that she can have the city, as she is a more qualified magical girl than Sayaka is. However, Homura wants the conflict to end peacefully. And to do that, she will handle it herself. She's like, look, just leave her alone. I'll get rid of her. You can have the city. Just stop, okay? Just don't do anything.
Stop trying to kill Madoka's mate.
Yes. Kyoko wants to know who Homura is and why is she helping Sayaka. Homura says a witch that is called, Walpurgis. Oh, I can't even do it. Walpurgis not.
Yeah, it looks German. I kept calling it Wanderlust in the end.
Wanderlust.
Yeah, I decided that's its name because I can't pronounce that word.
I tried doing it in phonetics, but it still looks like a jargon.
So I'm calling it Wanderlust.
Okay, so Wanderlust the witch. We'll be arriving in 2 weeks. We're back to our time limits again. Another trope of anime, time limit. But yes, this big old witch, seems quite powerful, is going to be coming to this city in particular. And if Kyoko can help her to defeat it, then she can have the city. She's like, that's what I'm getting out of it. I need your help to beat this witch, and then everything is yours. Take it. And then she leaves. Okay, thanks, bye.
Because she is mysterious, lone wolf, Homura. She's like, I've said my bit. I have given you absolutely no information that you wanted from me, and I am off again.
And I fly. Sayaka and Madoka go back to the alley to where the familiar was, and they go back to check if it's there, but it's gone. Kyubey is like, nah, it ran away. Of course it did. A whole night has passed. Of course it's gone. It's not just going to hang around, is it? So, God, where are those magical girls? No, it's gone. It's gone off to go and eat people, apparently. Madoka is worried that they will bump into Kyoko and thinks that Sayaka should talk to her so it doesn't happen again. They should be friends. They should help each other. They should be fighting. Sayaka tells Madoka the reality of the situation is like, she was going to kill me, okay? I cannot be friends with someone who wants to kill me or want other people to die so that they can have a blimmin' seed. No, not doing it. Madoka wants them to be friends as they all have a common goal, and then she brings Mami into it. But Sayaka is mad at this, and she's like, look, Homura, she could have saved Mami. She could have done it, but she didn't. She waited until she was dead, and then she jumped in to get the seed. I do not trust the girl. No, we are not going to be friends. So, like you say, like the situation was that she was all tied up, and obviously Sayaka didn't know that because she was already at the witch before they got there, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She went into the labyrinth before, so she doesn't know that Homura was actually all tied up, as it were.
Yes. And the fact that Homura did turn up and warn them, was trying to take on the witch herself, which would have prevented Mami dying.
And why Madoka doesn't bring this up to Sayaka, like, it would change everything. But she decides that she doesn't need to know this information and she should just be mad. Girl, you're trying to fix everything by not saying anything.
Yeah.
And then Sayaka turns it on to Madoka and is like, well, would you be happy if a familiar came and killed your family? Would that be okay with you? No. So I have to kill the familiars as well as the witches so that nobody dies, because no one should die, as far as she's concerned. She's a do-gooder. She's a justice warrior. And Sayaka says that she will fight anyone who stops her from fighting the witches or a familiar, even if it is another magical girl. And this kind of shows you, because they kept saying like magical girls fight magical girls, but it's for different reasons now. Like before, they would say it's because of the seeds so that they could get the purification and everything. But now it's a magical girl fighting a magical girl because they're fighting over what is right and what a magical girl should do.
Yeah. Fighting over the right to define what a magical girl is.
Madoka wants Kyubey to help, but he can only say that Sayaka is reckless and she couldn't defeat the other two at this time because she's too weak. So, lol.
Yeah.
Your friend's doomed, basically. If she doesn't stop being a stubborn cow, then she's going to die. In Madoka's room, she's in bed and she hears the door open and we hear some stuff going on in the kitchen. She comes down and Mum's just arrived home. She's having a little drinky drink. Madoka confides in her mum, saying about the Sayaka situation, but without saying names or the actual problem. She just kind of says like, my friend tries to do what's right, but things just keep getting bad for her, so what should she do? And her mother tells her that sometimes things don't work out, especially if the person is stubborn. She asks Madoka if doing something drastic would help, and Madoka says yes, and then Mum tells her that she should make a mistake for her friend. So she should do something wrong. And she explains that by doing something wrong, this will force her friend to do the right thing. I mean, there's only so much you can say without knowing the whole situation.
Yeah,
so.
it's a bit like tricky on that one.
Yes.
But if Madoka does something like a mistake, and you're probably thinking in that kind of situation, it would be like, say something she shouldn't do, that would get Madoka in trouble, and then, her friend can stand up for her and do the right thing. That kind of thing. She didn't really think it was going to be like magical battles and like the fate of her friends' lives.
Mum then praises Madoka for being such a good child, but she tells her by messing up as a child, you are easier to bounce back from it, whereas adults don't find it that easy, and that's why adults have a drink, because we numb that pain. And then Madoka says, I can't wait to be a grown-up because I can drink with my mum.
Yeah.
You're drinking with your mum right now. You've got your juice. She's got her what looks like rum or
Whiskey.
Whiskey or whatever.
It'll be whiskey.
Yes, and there you go. Like, you're having a drink with her right now. You don't have to drink alcohol to go out drinking with your mum.
But it's kind of that idea of being on the same level. It's not so much about she wants to drink alcohol. She says she can't wait to be old enough to appreciate the reasons why her mum is drinking the alcohol and to share in the mum's kind of situation.
In the hospital, Sayaka goes to visit Kyosuke, and the nurse tells her that he's been discharged because he's doing so well, so he can go home and do his physio there. She goes to his place, and before she goes in, she hears him playing the violins, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to leave him because he's happy and he's doing his violin.
Thing I want to know is, you said the conversation between Madoka and her mum was different in the dub.
Yeah, I haven't written it all down, but it's just the wording of it. If you go back, watch it in the dub, and then read the subtitles at the same time, and you'll just hear that the way things are said aren't as they are written. So it's the same conversation. It's just worded very differently.
Okay.
Just watch it. You understand. When you go back, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's nothing like what she said, but they're still getting the gist of what's being said. Yeah, I wasn't going to write it all down because that would take forever. So as Sayaka is going to leave, Kyoko is there waiting for her, and she starts winding her up. She's like, oh, you're not going to go in and see your boyfriend? Oh, no. Well, what's the point of being a magical girl if you're not going to do magical things? And you wasted your wish on this guy. What are you doing? What, you think he's going to be your boyfriend because of this? Hey, why don't you go in there, beat him up, destroy him completely, and then he'll rely on you to look after him. Or, better yet, I'll go in and beat him up, and then you can be the hero. How's that? So Sayako is pissed.
Yeah. But also very easily manipulated. It's like, oh, just, she's saying it to get a rise out of you. Just let it go. No, she fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Also, Kyoko was just told by Humura to leave her alone. But what's the first thing she does? You know what? I'm going to go and wind this girl up and have a fight with her. Why not?
Yeah.
Forget what Humura said. I don't believe her because I don't trust her because she's a mysterious girl. So Kyoko says, well, we're not going to fight here because it's too public. Let's go somewhere else. So off they go. Madoka is trying to work out what mistakes she should be making. She's trying to think, right, how can I help Sayaka with this problem? But then Kyubey interrupts her and says, Sayaka is in danger. Go! Go, you little non-magical girl. Go save your friend who is a magical girl. And you know that Kyubey's doing it so that she'll see her friend in trouble, and the only way she can save her is to be a magical girl. Kyubey, you're a pain in the ass. Stop it.
You're a manipulative dick, and all these girls are falling for it.
Exactly. Just because he's so cute. He's a little cutie face.
Yeah.
Well, until he's being really dramatic, smiling.
Yeah, with no facial expression.
No.
And weird angles from above and below. It's like, what's this? Is weird angles?
Kyoko and Sayaka decide to have their battle above a motorway on like a bridge. And then magical girl transformation. But before Sayaka can transform, because that was Kyoko, before Sayaka can transform, Madoka stops her. And then Humura appears. And she's like, I warned you. Why are you fighting her? What are you doing? Humura's like, you know what? I'll fight her. And then that way I can control the situation. But before they do that, Madoka decides, I'm going to make the mistake. She grabs the soul stone and she throws it away.
Poor little Madoka. She honestly thinks that, like, if I just throw that away, then she can't transform and then she can't fight.
Yes, but instead, Sayaka freezes and collapses. And according to everyone, she dead.
Yeah, she dies.
Like, oh dear. That's another friend dead.
Were you having the mammy moment going, oh God, oh God.
It's another one. I can't handle this anymore. Like flipping Game of Thrones. All the main characters are dying too quickly. So they're like, what happened? And they turn to Kyubey. Hey, Kyubey, what happened? While he's explaining, and I'll do the explanation in a minute, Humura has decided to run off after this truck because as the thing was thrown, it landed in the back of an open-ended truck. So Humura has gone running after it using her teleportation powers. Yeah, that's right. So what Kyubey says is that magical girls cannot be away from their bodies more than 100 meters. It's like, but surely the body is the magical girl. What are you talking about, Kyubey, you maniac? Oh, the girl is not the person anymore. The girl is now inside the soul stone. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense as it's called a soul gem.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously, your soul is in the soul gem. Clearly. He
Yeah.
hasn't lied to you. He just didn't tell you the full truth.
Or just how drastic it is, the fact that it's like, yeah, you get a soul gem, and of course your soul's in there. It's like, no. Literally, everything that makes you a living being, apart from your meat sack, is now in this tiny little bottle.
And also that now makes sense. We can go back to what Kyubey was doing in that other episode when he was sticking his ear flaps inside her.
Yep.
He was taking her soul.
Yeah.
He was taking it out of her body. He wasn't making the wish. And this is what I couldn't explain at the start. But yeah, he's taking her soul, basically. So, yeah, so the body is just a shell and the soul is inside the soul stone. And Kyubey explains that they can easily control their magic in the soul gem. While he's explaining, Homura catches the truck, luckily, and retrieves the soul gem. So, yay, she's saved, thank goodness. Not another death. Yeah. Homura saved her.
It's like, and also, yes, Homura is not a bad person, so I can now finally get over this thing because, Homura was willing to, chase the truck down and get her soul back for her.
Kyoko doesn't like this explanation because she didn't know either. You'd think her being a veteran magical girl, she'd know this kind of information, but clearly Kyubey don't tell anyone anything.
Nope.
you got to find out for yourself. So, yeah, so she compares them to zombies, saying like, oh, right, so we're just these zombie things with a soul gem. Kyubey says if the body is broken, the soul gem can heal it and they are invincible. Well, they're technically invincible.
And also that the soul gem is really strong, so it can't be like broken. So you can heal a body, but their actual soul, where their magic and power comes from, is in like a protective little armor, so it's much harder to like damage it.
But that's why they need the grease seeds to purify that soul, because without the soul, there's no magical girl.
Yeah.
Or do they become witches? So many questions. Question within a question, within a mystery, within a question.
Welcome to the anime I like.
The girls are traumatized, but Kyubey doesn't understand why humans are so attached to their bodies. It's like, I don't get it. Like, these things are fragile. Why the hell do you care what happens to it? Like, as long as your soul is cool, what's the issue? So Kyubey's showing his true colours now. Although it's making it out to be like, I'm a little innocent little thing. I don't understand. Why are humans attached to their bodies? I don't get it. You get it, Kyubey. You manipulative thing. Homura returns the soul gem and Sayaka is okay. She wakes up and she has no recollection of what happened. The end.
Yeah. Like, mic drop. Bombshell. Yeah. Ending. It's like, your soul is in a jar and you can die if it gets moved away from you. You are just meat sacks for soul gems. The end.
The end. Or until next time. Okay. But yeah, so again, it ends on this kind of open-ended, what happened? Yeah.
How are you girls going to deal with this? Is this a lot of pressure for like 11-year-olds? Yes, it is.
Just a little bit. But yeah. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I like the mystery things. I like the having to work out stuff. I like that everything isn't what it seems. And also the fact that we are now onto it going, you are not right, Kyubey, or Homura, you've got an alternative motive, and all this kind of stuff. Like it makes you want to watch it and find out. It's like those shows like Pretty Little Liars where it's like, I don't want to watch this show, but I really want to know why this person's doing this thing and who it is. And yeah. But I want to watch the show. That's the difference. Yes. I do want to watch this.
After a while, Pretty Little Liars, we were just watching it so that it would end. And then it didn't end for like another 3 seasons. And it's like, this is too long. It
was really good at the start. It just went on for too long, yeah. Just needed to finish. But never mind, it did, and it's all good. But no, this I'm enjoying, and this I want to know the answers, and I want to know more about these characters. So I'm loving it. It's really good.
Good. And it's beautiful. The animation is beautiful, the fluidity, the background designs, even like when the pedals go past, the mosaics on the floors and the transformations and the music. I love the music.
Indeed. It's really, everything just comes together. Though it's not magical girl, it still feels magical girl.
Yeah.
It still has that trope, even though it's grim. Okay, so my question this week about magical girls is, if you could have a Kyubey type creature, what would it look like?
I don't know. Because the thing is, I like different things, but when you like those things and you stick them together, they don't always turn out cute. Because like a cat, dragon, octopus might seem cute in my head, but when you smush it all together, it might be a bit weird.
Do you know what? No. The way you could do that is have a cat body.
Yeah.
What was the second one? Cat.
Cat, dragon, octopus.
And then you have it like it's kind of scaly cat. It's got a fluffy face but scaly body with spikes on the back, and its tail could be a tentacle.
So it's basically a Vaporeon with tentacles.
Yeah. No, Vaporeon's a dog, okay?
It looks catty, I know.
It does look catty, but it's considered a dog.
Yeah.
But yes, basically a Vaporeon, but dragon rather than water creature.
Yes.
And then a tentacle tail.
Yeah, kind of like
Or
tentacles.
tentacle tongue.
Or I'd like something, because I really like jellyfish. I think jellyfish are beautiful, but they're not exactly like... I mean, they are cute, because I think of things like Clara from Jellyfish Princess, and it's totally cute. My little tooth. But it'll be like...
And in Finding Nemo with the little squishies.
Yeah,
Squishy.
squishies. They're cute. I love a little jellyfish. Little jellyfish.
Just like jellyfish.
Jellyfish with a bit of a meow face. And
So basically our logo, basically.
Yeah.
Jellyfish cat.
Yeah.
There you go. Your representative for this channel is your...
It's my magical girl mascot.
We know what mine is.
Just a cat.
Just a cat,
Yeah, you're just a cat.
Bog standard cat.
There we go.
That could possibly talk to me.
Be a ragdoll rolling in, going woohoo!
Yeah, just the most useless thing ever. You're so cute. You're just a cutie. But I don't do anything. But you look so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the kind of one I would have as well. The absolutely useless thing. It does nothing but sit there and look at you and you go, you're so cute. And that's it. That's all it does.
That's adorable.
I have that.
Yeah, exactly. You already own your own. And I have a collection of God knows how many freaking plush octopus and jellyfish from Japan everywhere. So I'll just be like, and look at all my little tentacle babies.
Social media.
Doodler, 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 doodler. Well, I don't know what mine are coming in on. Mine's coming in on a gemstorm.
Oh, what's
a gemstorm? It's like a storm of gems.
God.
So they're all coming in. Like it's a storm, like maybe a hurricane, maybe a tornado of storm of gems, or just a gem that's like lightning gems. But just a storm of gems. It's just gemstorm. Oh.
It's going to have one big gem fall. That's what it's going to be, just one big gem.
No, it has to come in spinning, though. It's a gemstorm and pew-pewing little gems and lightning bolts.
Oh, God. Right, go on then, do your sound effects.
Well, pew-pew-pew-pew-pew-pew. Pew-pew, twinkle, 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 sparkle, 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 pew.
Great. Okay. If yours is coming in on soul gems, mine's coming in on grief seeds, but it's just one big fog of evil.
Oh no, corrupting my gems.
Corrupt the gems. Corrupt.
Sparkle,
Evil.
sparkle, sad.
Sad gems.
Sad gem. Sparkle, sad, dim.
Do you notice that a lot of our things have turned into you being good and me being evil?
I know, which is really weird. I'm like, wee, sparkle, sparkle. It's like, I'm not even sparkly. I hate sparkles. I only wear black.
Sparkles.
I know, exactly. You're the one that puts glitter on your face at conventions, and I'm the one that just puts black. I've got some black. Some black.
I've got black eyeshadow, purple lipstick.
Yep.
I'm good at demon. Yep,
Yep.
that's you.
Yeah.
But no, you're sparkly.
And today I'm on gemstones. We kept talking about soul stones, so I had gems in my head. And then I thought of a gemstorm because I thought it was funny.
Well, now it's been taken over by the grief seed fog. Oh, say goodbye.
So for now, this is a weeaboo saying Johnny.
And this is a newbie saying sparkle, sparkle, fog, sparkle.